And so let's jump into this and talk a little bit about this. So, they're trying to keep up with us, right? Trying to keep up with us, the European Union. And sometimes they lead the way, or they think they're leading the way, and then other times we do. But they're our friends, or at least we're friendly with them. But they came up with this thing that was the European Union privacy law back in 1995 that really kind of shaped what or how personal data was shared and processed. And so the idea that you have consent from the person to have their personal data, maybe you're under contract, there's a legal obligation, but basically it tried to have a way to balance from the big corporations taking and mining data on everybody, and you as a little old consumer being able to protect yourself. And so individuals then can have that some protections with the information that these big entities have. And so that was passed in 1995. Another one is this thing called the Privacy Shield. And if you've heard of Safe Harbor before, where U.S. companies then work with the European Union privacy laws to come up with, quote unquote, this privacy shield. And so there's 7 different requirements that typically come into play here, and they're listed here on the bullet points down at the bottom. How individual is processed, data is processed, free and accessible dispute resolution. I think we need to know, or we need to implement some of these into our system as well, because there's not a lot of easy ways that you can dispute things. So for me, I usually tell people that if you have one of these European Union or European laws on the exam, I'd be surprised. But ISC2 asks instructors to cover them. So, but I'd be surprised if you have any of these. Maybe the GDPR, because that's relatively new. This one right here is the one that I would definitely recommend. So I'm sorry I jumped the gun there a little bit, but yeah, this is one that you probably would see on the exam, at least at a high level, and I would know what that looks like down here. So what this requires is that anytime a company is breached, within 72 hours, they have to notify the authorities that they were breached. And then what it does is it also gives different ways of collecting protections on collecting data and sharing data, similar to that Graham-Leach-Bliley, but also how to get information from one entity to another. And so at a super high level, understanding this, you may see one question on the exam on GDPR.